almost there.
Mike has killed us already.
Hello, everybody. And oh my goodness, we're off to a great start already. Welcome to the SPHL season preview show. I'm SPHL editor Mike Campos from the Sin Bin. And let's just go ahead and say hi to everybody here. First off, we'll start with, I'll let Matt Harding here at Poll Rank. He's the managing editor of the Sin Bin website and vast fan of the Wichita Thunder. And if you're a big fan of the Wichita Thunder, then you know that's what we could play like 6 Degrees of Doug Shedden or something.
Probably could, although not so much anymore. You probably could.
Hey, you still could. I mean, he's everywhere.
Yes, one of his former players is coaching the junior team here in Wichita. So, yeah, there's always a few degrees of Doug Shedden to be had.
Yeah. So how's everything? How's the website going?
Great. I'm just looking here on my doodad, and we are almost to 200,000 views for the year. So we'll probably get that today. So on Wednesday, the 19th. So thank you for everybody coming to the website, all 200,000 of you.
200,000.
200,000.
My goodness.
So thank you very much for all of your support of this. And, Mike, thanks to you for all the hard work you've done. In the summer, you and I have gotten to be pretty good friends and talked quite a bit. And I know a lot of the SPHL coverage that we're going to do this year is done through you and through all of the thoughts that you've had in discussing with the writers and things like that. So on behalf of Joe and Joe Rozicki and Matt Thomas and the rest of our team, thank you very much for all the hard work you're doing, and for Don and Mike as well for all the hard work you guys are going to be doing this year. Looking forward to a great year with you. And I'm happy, Mike, to be doing a podcast with you beginning next Monday night.
Breaking news, everybody.
That's right. We're going to get it right out of the way right now on the SPHL preview show. Campos and I are going to do a podcast every Monday, length to be determined. But we're going to record it on Monday nights. It'll be out on Tuesday. And, since you landed the big fish for this one, go ahead and tell our viewers who our first guest will be on the new Inside the SPHL podcast.
I was going to wait for Brad Kupiec to kind of jump in on this just to do that. But forget it. He's not here, so we're just going to do it right now.
No. We'll wait for Brad. We'll wait for Brad.
That's what we in the business call a teaser.
That's right. We got to keep you hanging on here, and we've got to adhere to a tight Mike Campos schedule.
That's right. So, well, that's okay, because we should have Brad Kupiec with the Peoria Rivermen on in about 12 minutes from now. So, hey,
with any luck,
with any luck, we can get this done on time. Now,
let's get it on, buddy.
Ladies, don't die on me here. You're up. Anyway, from Columbus, Georgia, we've got our boots on the ground in Columbus. We've got Dawn Walters from the Snake Pit. Dawn, talk to me and not die.
Sorry, I'm really sick tonight. I'm Dawn. I'll be writing for Columbus. No, I don't always sound like this. The accent, yes. The heavy hooker voice. No?
No.
The what?
I did not just hear that.
Kidding. No, really. I'm excited to start the season with you guys and bring some different features and stuff. I had the players fill out some different questions, like what your spirit animal is. If you lost a bet to your teammate, what's the song that you would sing, and karaoke and stuff like that. Just weird stuff, but yeah.
Well, we know you're a rookie here, and the advice that we can give to you is just have fun and roll with it. It's going to be a blast. And guess what? You've already got a fan in Dakota Johnson, because he's already said that your accent is amazing.
Well, thank you, Dakota. I appreciate it.
Maybe you could say
congratulations. You are the one writer at the Sin Bin that he now likes.
That's right.
I'm surprised he likes anybody right now.
He thinks the hierarchy's after him. So he's always like, "Hey, they like me.
Nah, that's okay.
The Dakota series. So when he likes you, it's game over. You're like he's putty in your hand, Dawn.
Oh, well.
Oh, you got him now.
We can't, boys. The main objective tonight is to not kill Dawn. Because then it would be dark forever. But
Poor Dawn, she's dying right now. Anyway, on to the expansion town of Evansville, Indiana. My boy, my partner in crime, Mike Finazza. How you doing, Mikey?
Hi, everybody. I am Mike Finazzo, the same face in a different place. Evansville, we have changed leagues, if anybody just hadn't noticed. There was no news happened in the last year out of Evansville hockey. Nothing
None whatsoever.
Happened. Nothing to see here. Move it along.
Mike, we didn't bust our butts for anything last year, did we?
No, and if you ask around town, for the most part, that old team had a lot of people are trying to wipe that from history.
Yeah.
So they did not exist. So, pardon me, I have a bit of a cough myself, but not nearly as cool as Donnie's. So,
no, not at all.
No, not really. But yeah. So the Evansville Thunderbolts, we were announced in February, and here we are getting ready to drop the puck on the season on Friday night. Home opener on Saturday.
And we will be there.
Exactly. For anyone that will be at the game at the Ford Center, come on back to the back 40 parking lot. Come see us. We're going to be hanging out together, friends and places. I was promised some Cajun tailgate food, and we're going to watch a little bit of hockey.
If you're lucky. Anyway, so speaking of hockey, let's start talking about it. So let's talk about last season. That how eventful was it? Well, if you're a Peoria Rivermen fan, it was definitely eventful, although maybe not perfect result that you want to get in the postseason, but I don't think you can deny just how good the Peoria Rivermen were last year. Let's break this down a little bit. For starters, they 83 points last season, and that beat Pensacola's back from the 13-14 season of 81 points. Back in December and January, they go on a 14-game winning streak. And during that time, they also managed to piece together a 12-game road winning streak, fewest goals allowed in the league with 125. I mean, Jean-Guy Trudel gets Coach of the Year for the second time, and he's the first coach to ever get that award twice. I think everybody else in the league's only got it once.
And they scored most goals in the league too.
You know, no, they did not score the most goals in the league.
No, is my stat line wrong?
I don't know. Maybe they may have scored the most.
3.5 a game for 100.
But you know, it wasn't a record though. I mean, the record for most goals scored in the league is like 315 or whatever. And that's you're never going to see that anymore. But allowing 125, that's an all-time SPHL record. And you know, David Jacobson with the 53 save shutout against Pensacola back on March 6th. That's probably one of the best individual performances of the year. But you know, since we're gosh, I can't believe we're actually running on time here. But you know, some of the other great highlights of the season from the year past, the Ice Gators in God bless their soul, and River Kings with the 15 round shootout, which spurred a change in the shootout rules that we'll cover here in a couple of seconds. And you know, there was a few records there. You had Brad Barone, who was the first guy to ever make 12 saves in a shootout, and Jeremy Boyer, the first player to ever go 2 for 2 in a shootout, since we've never gotten to a point in a shootout where you actually have to go through the roster twice. And I think one of the last big things was the 9-goal game that Fayetteville put on Columbus. So yeah, sorry Peoria, y'all didn't. I know y'all lit up Columbus last year pretty bad, but not quite what Fayetteville did. Sorry, Brad. I know I see you there. But and you know, finally, you know, probably the biggest success of this league is when you can bring people up and use this league as a development tool to bring players up into the ECHL, and 51 different players got called up to the higher league last year, and that's the second most in league history. So some of the maybe more notable guys who got called up, Macon's John Chavo, who wound up with the Missouri Mavericks for a long time, and Eric Levine, who former ice skater, former Peoria Riverman, former I think half the teams in the league, Pensacola included, who had a fantastic year with the Colorado, with the Eagles. I want to call them the Rockies for some reason. You got Sean Bonner, who wound up having a pretty good time in Wichita. If I'm not mistaken there, Matt. Yeah, Matt. He's trying to talk, but he's muted.
Yeah.
And Jordan Ruby, who finished up the season in Brampton as pretty much their starting goaltender. So, a lot of really great success stories out of this league. And coming up this season, well, we've already talked with Mike Finazzo. He's our boots on the ground now in Evansville, Indiana, but also the Roanoke Rail Yard Dogs starting up play on Friday night against the, I believe it's the Ice Bears. And they are the remnants of the Mississippi Surge franchise, which got transferred over to Roanoke. On a sad note, especially for me being from Lafayette, the suspension of operations of the Louisiana Ice Gators, which was kind of something that we expected. There's huge renovations going on in the Cajun Dome, which is set to finish up in December 1st, but just not enough time, not enough space to actually put on a season. And, a lot of speculation going around that the suspension of operations for the Ice Gators is going to be permanent, although we haven't had any confirmation from the league or from the Gators themselves.
So let me ask you, hey, Mike, what do you think? Right? I mean, what do you think comes of that?
Everything that I've seen says that this is a team that's not planning on coming back next year. That's, all the office furniture sold, there's the buildings up for lease, the bus belongs to another team now, everything that you see that, and you think about just the time frame itself. If you're getting ready to ramp up a hockey team, now's the time you start ramping up operations again. That's what Roanoke did. I mean, they ramped up for an entire year. So it's still a wait and see thing, but yeah, conventional wisdom says they're not coming back. And let's see, y'all want to talk about new rules, or do we want to just start talking about the Peoria Rivermen?
Let's go new rules.
New rules. Hey, let's talk about new rules. Well, for starters, did you know now that if you're getting in fisticuffs with another player and you take your helmet off, you're getting gamed for that, buddy. Even if you try to be nice and take off someone's helmet for them, no. The league ain't having that. If you're going to fight, you're going to do it with your helmet on. So we got that clear. Here's another one for you.
Unless you get it knocked off.
Well, you can get it knocked off.
I don't think. Jump in and sorry.
Hey, Brad.
My understanding of that rule, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe you're right. I thought it was that if the helmet comes off during the course of a fight, that's okay. But if you
knock it off with someone,
if they square off like you and I saw the first game Peoria was in Louisiana last year, Ben Woodley and Anthony Paisano squared off at center ice right after the puck drop. And if you do that, because the rule was you can't take off your own helmet. If you took off the opponent's helmet and then started fighting, that's what'll get you gamed, I think.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Sorry
that's
jumping in out of turn there.
Yeah, that's exactly that. Yeah, your bucket can still come off during the course of a fight, but you can't actually physically take it off. So people will probably have more broken fingers on helmets this year. So let's see what else is happening. What else is happening on rule changes? This is where Jim Combs should be here, but he's not. Well, I miss him. But delay of game penalty for shooting the puck up over the glass, that's been expanded a little bit. From what we understand here, if you shoot the puck over the glass and you're in the defensive zone, you're getting to delay a game no matter if you toss it over the glass and it winds up over center ice. unless it goes into the bench. I think that's the only stipulation where you're not going to get dinged for a delay of game call. What's next? Icing. If you ice the puck, especially late in the game, you're trying to maybe sneak in a line change. Not only can you not do that, which is still the existing rule, but you can't take your team timeout to put new guys on the ice. So that's I'm sure that'll rear its ugly head somewhere, and someone's not going to like it. But anyway, that's the new stuff coming up in the league. But here's something else. Let's start talking about some Peoria hockey here. And the person who loves to do it more than anybody else in the world is Brad Kupiak. The smooth.
It's literally my job to talk about Peoria hockey, which is awesome.
That is nice. How you doing, Brad?
Doing good, Mike. How about yourself?
Oh man, I am snazzy right now. This is crazy. We're doing a broadcast. We're talking EC. We're not even talking ECHL hockey anymore.
No,
Matt. We're talking SPHL hockey.
That's right, man.
This is so cool.
Yeah, I was talking to our owner this summer. He was telling me that when Peoria jumped from the IHL to the ECHL back in the 90s, the ECHL at that time was in a very similar place to where the SP is right now. So that's just kind of cool to see those parallels in the history of Peoria hockey.
Yeah, it really is. So tell me about these guys. There's a lot of new faces on this team.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a couple of guys back. We've got our captain from last year, Dan Bremner's back. A couple of guys, Cody Dion, a couple of our defensemen, but a lot of new guys and a lot of new forwards especially. And it's really interesting. I was just talking to Coach about this the other day. And we've got a different group of forwards and not necessarily just a different style of group of forwards. I mean, last year we had kind of the not necessarily older, but the skill guys, the Stewarts, the Wilsons, the guys that you, Mike, saw a lot in Louisiana.
Yeah.
And now we've just got kind of more faster guys, edgier guys on offense. And that's really going to be interesting to see. I don't know if it's better or worse. It's definitely different. And we'll just have to see how it plays out on the ice.
Yeah. This was one of the things. I mean, we're talking about it. I know we were talking Monday. It's like, I'm going to ask you, it's like, Brett, do you think this team is better than last year? And you actually said yes. And I'm thinking it's like, this is an 85-point team. Are you kidding me?
It's tough to say. We'll have to see. I mean, there's only so high you can go until you hit the ceiling. But because you're going to lose games. It's going to happen. Nobody's going to go 72 Dolphins here. But it'll be interesting to see how the season plays out. That's for sure.
So, talking about the defensive side of the buck, this is almost an entirely new lineup here.
Yeah, I mean, Dave Shinichny's obviously suspended from last year. We've got a couple of guys back, but a couple of veteran guys with big next-level experience. One guy I forgot to mention on the forwards, too. We've got Jake Housworth, who came in from Louisiana.
Housey.
We've got a couple of guys. Yeah, Housey. He's been great so far. I've had a couple of chances to chat with him. And then our defensive core, we got a couple of guys with, extensive experience at the next level in the ECHL and a little bit in the American Hockey League as well, and Carl Nielsen and Joe Sova.
Yeah, those couple big boys there.
Yeah, Nielsen's a large human being. I'll say that. He's listed at 6'4" and about 225, I believe, is what he claims himself at.
Right.
He is a thick-sized human being. Just even seeing him off skates, he's huge. And I'm a tall guy myself. I'm about 6'4", but I feel like he dwarfs me.
I know. So what kind of transition do you think? Do you think it's just going to be early season troubles, or maybe just a transitional period because you've got brand new goalies, including one Miss Shannon Zabados, who's now a Peoria Riverman. Yeah,
she is now official. Guy announced or sent us the official roster. She has made the team, so that's exciting.
And, speaking of, and we're just going to do a small plug right now, but Shannon Zabados next week on the first audio episode of the SPHL podcast, she'll be right here with Matt Harding and myself.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing that. I heard her on a podcast with our beat writer for the Journal Star newspaper, David Minion, that lasted about 20 minutes, and it was interesting. She was good on the mic there on that podcast, so I'm excited to hear what she does with you and Matt.
Yeah, Lord knows what we're going to come up with.
We'll keep it classy, Brad. Hey,
thanks. I appreciate that.
We strive for classiness around here. talk about the three rookies that signed, Dmitry Ozhinev, Ian Harris, and Alex Tollian. I watched Tollian when he was in Missouri last year for a game. Looked like he had great speed. What is Coach expecting from those three players as it looks like his overall roster is trending younger this year?
It does, yeah, and I feel like that's the entire league is trending younger. I mean, obviously, in years past, we've kind of gotten more and more strict with the veteran rule, as other leagues have as well, just to kind of I don't want to say tailor this league, but obviously the league's trying to move in that direction where we're more of a younger developmental league and trying to get players to develop and improve and grow so that they can get those shots at the next level. I mean, Mike, in the intro, you talked about the near record number of call-ups to the ECHL. And obviously that's a direction this league is trying to go. And in keeping with that, our roster does look younger. You asked about the three guys we just signed. I haven't really had a chance to talk to Coach about those guys. I know they were all in ECHL camp until the very last round of cuts. So I'm interested to see. It'll be one of those things where I'll be as surprised as everyone else on Friday night to see how they are.
What is Coach expecting out of Shannon Zabados early? Is he expecting her to take a starting role, or is she going to split time, or is she going to be a backup? What is her role going to be with the Rivermen?
It's tough to say. Obviously, Coach plays things a lot of those things really close to the chest. We've got two goaltenders with us this year. We've got her and Storm Phaneuf, who is a rookie. He played several years in the Quebec Major Junior League. So it'll be tricky to see. I don't even know, and I could ask Guy today who his starter is going to be, and he could tell me one thing, and he could change his mind 5 times between now and Friday. That's just how he is.
Right.
Storm Phaneuf may be the best name in all of hockey outside of Cal Heater.
I know. I'm so excited. There's so many puns I'm going to get to use on the broadcast. Into the eye of the storm. He's riding the storm out. That just hit me the other night that I'll be able to use those, and I just got so excited out of nowhere.
Has anybody seen the Roanoke list? There's some beauties in that group too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, Brad, thank you so much for being up here with us. It's a joy to talk to you, and thank you for all of your help that you've been a great help for us as far as getting news out and getting information. I know I bugged the living daylights out of you all summer, but
that's no problem. I'm glad to help. That's my job.
You do a heck of a job of it. It's really great. It's great to have you as part of this league, and great to be able to talk to you.
All right, thanks for having me on, Mike.
Take care.
All right, thank you. You too.
All right. Brad Kupiak with the Peoria Rivermen, and now we're gonna switch. Hey, Jerome, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing well. Jerome Bouchard, head coach of your Columbus Cottonmouths, Donnie. So, how you feeling there? Can you talk?
Oh yeah, I can. Oh, who, me or Dawn?
No, Dawn. She sounds like she's dying right about now.
I am not doing very well at all. Actually, I'm sorry. I'm like sipping tea and a mouthful of cough drops, and it's just not working.
Well, I hope it is, because this is your game right now.
Well, we'll work through it. Just don't make me laugh or anything.
We're gonna kill her.
I know, right? See, slave labor. Gosh.
Sorry.
Kill the rookie. Is that the name of the game?
No.
Yes. Oh.
Let's see. I'll let Coach take this one because I've only seen a practice and a half, and I think we've got a lot of new faces here in Columbus. He brought back some veterans and stuff, and I think they look a little fast, but that's just me because I'm observing. But Coach could tell you more about who he brought in and stuff like that. So, Coach, take it away.
No, I think definitely. I think we got a little bit more speed than we had last year. Speed and what I liked over the last week and a half here, watching these guys go, and over the exhibition games, was our work ethic and our ability to, the guys working both ends of the ice. Last year, I think we had offensive-minded team, and nobody really thought about defense. And what I saw is, I think I got a pretty well-rounded effort where guys are coming back as hard as they are trying to score goals.
I'll tell you what, after last season, you were, and maybe just lack of a better word, you were not happy with the performance of your team. I mean, you were visibly upset at times where there was just a general dissatisfaction with the team and just how they were playing, especially throughout the season at the end of the season, and missing the playoffs for the first time in your career. You look now, and a lot of there's still. I mean, when you look at your defensive six, there's still a lot of very familiar faces on there. I was almost thinking you were going to clean house over the offseason, but you still have a lot of your defensemen left. Is there any kind of maybe a new commitment or whatever on their behalf, or maybe there's just something different that you're going to try to keep your goalies clean?
Well, yeah, most definitely. I mean, and really, I mean, going into this year, I had probably four guys coming back from last year, and starting with our starting lineup on Friday. I mean, I'm really kind of down to two. Kyle Johnson, and I was lucky enough to get Alex Pompeo back from South Carolina. Mm-hmm. Kyle Shapiro's still up in Indianapolis, and actually Rusty Hafner ended up having shoulder surgery about 4 weeks ago, so he's not ready to go. So the guys that were coming back, they're not here yet, and so I'm lucky to have two guys. And you know what? I mean, for my returning players from last year, I wanted to make sure that every single one of those guys were coming in with a different attitude. Kyle Johnson, our captain, big stay-at-home defenseman, probably wasn't as physical as I needed to be, and I needed him to be last year. And I've encouraged him and said, basically, you know what, you're my captain, but if I don't see you playing a certain way, I can't have you here. And I think years gone past, pretty loyal to my players. And you know what, this year, I don't care if you're a captain, assistant captain, you're a 4-year, 5-year guy. If you're not getting the job done, what I need done, you won't be here. So
we're definitely looking at a return to the playoffs for the Snakes.
Well, I mean, it's pretty early, but that's the goal. I mean, I think I put in my sin bin wish list there at the end, where I expect to be the top half of the league. And you know what, hard work, defense, and a little bit of grit goes a long way.
I'll tell you what, Jerome, we'll see what we can do about that. See if we can get you guys a little bit of karma down that way.
Well, we need it after last year. I mean, we had everything back. Anything that could go wrong last year for us did, between call-ups, injuries, and just timing on everything. And then I think last year we were so mentally weak as a hockey team. You know what? We would do well for a little bit, and something bad would happen. We'd just crumble like a piece of paper, and we didn't have any gumption. And you know what? I see that in the locker room right now. I see a big difference with just the attitude. With the old guys coming back and the new guys that I brought in. Totally different locker room.
What are you expecting from your front nine? I see Andy Bathgate's on your forward chart, and I watched Bathgate here in Wichita a year ago when he was in McClellan's ECHL camp, and the kid can fly, and he has a great set of hands, but it's just a matter of putting it all together. So what are you expecting from somebody like Andy Bathgate this year?
Yeah, you know what, Andy had a pretty good year for us last year, and quite frankly, you can ask him too. He wasn't very happy with his performance, and I really think I think Andy Bathgate and Ben O'Quinn were probably two of the same guys. When you have these guys that come down from the East Coast League and they can't fathom the fact that they didn't make it, and then all of a sudden they get sent down to SPHL. I mean, I really think both of those two guys came down with a little bit of an attitude, saying, you know what, I shouldn't be here. What happened? Why am I not in East Coast League? And you know what? They came down thinking they're kind of going to run the gamut and do whatever they want on the ice. And you know what? Hockey's a team sport. I don't care how talented you are. You need to work within the systems and use the guys on the ice with you to exemplify your gifts. And we had a lot of individualism. And you know what? Andy's really hard on himself as far as you know what? He doesn't execute a play. He gets upset, and you can visually see that he doesn't handle that very well. So, you know what? I wanted to really make sure that with him coming back, I'm like, listen, man, we're going to make mistakes, and that's fine. It's what you do after you make mistakes to make up for it, and that's hard work. And you know what? Your teammates feed off of that, and it's contagious. So I expect big things out of him this year, and he's come with a different attitude. And you know what? He couldn't care less about the East Coast League. He's 100% Columbus Cottonmouth, and this is where he wants to be. And I mean, I really don't think he has any aspirations of going anywhere. And I think I'll see a little bit different attitude out of him.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's fantastic. And gosh, we're almost starting to run a little long here. And I don't want to hear any laughing, guys. No. But anyway, Jerome, it's great to have you here. And I know just one more question before we get out of here.
Yeah.
Alex Larson, your new goaltender in town. What's your expectations of him?
You know what? With my tandem, I want to think it was pretty tough to judge his game against Macon on Friday night. I think the nerves got the best of him. He didn't look very comfortable in there. By the third period, he kind of settled down and did his job. So he'll be a little bit of work in progress. And you know what? Hopefully we can get him in there, and I'll get back to having 2 number 1 goalies with us.
Good deal. Well, I'll tell you what, Jerome, thanks so much for being with us here today. And I know, and good luck on the season. And we'll hope to see you soon.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Jerome.
All righty.
Hey, thanks, Coach. I really appreciate you coming out and helping me out a wee bit. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. It sounds like you needed it.
I did. Thanks.
We've got the rook taken care of. So.
All right, guys.
Poor Dawn.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Anyway, next up on the hit list is, we got the Fayetteville Fire Ants. And, one of the things, just looking on their Twitter page and Instagram and all that, they finally got a center ice logo. It's like they're no longer the Fayetteville Papa John Pizza and whatnot. So, for what it's worth, guys, their congratulations, and I'm glad y'all have done that. Oh gosh, but Fayetteville just put out their roster, and I wish we had a guest for Fayetteville with us here tonight. But the best laid plans sometimes don't always fall through. But we can still talk a little bit about the mass.
They're busy.
They have a lot more.
They have a lot more important fish to fry over there in North Carolina, and our thoughts and prayers and well wishes go to everybody over there who were impacted by those floods, and hopefully they get things going back again soon, and hopefully people can rally around and use hockey as a way of letting go of life for a little bit, as we often see the sports take care of that in so many different levels. Hopefully it can again here in the next few weeks there in North Carolina. Exactly, Matt. And just to give people an idea of just the devastation that Hurricane Matthew put upon Fayetteville, even though Fayetteville, North Carolina is very far from the Atlantic coast, just the amount of rain that was dumped on that area and just the overflowing of the river, just, near town, just completely overwhelmed just that whole drainage bed there, and just the amount of flooding has just been insane. And Matthew happened 2 weeks after another major flooding event in the Fayetteville area, where the Cape Fear River just went over its banks, and a lot of people are affected by that, and our hearts go out to them. And if there's anything that we can do to help, or just to use our website as a way of helping raise money for Fayetteville, then we're all for it. And we definitely want them, all the best for them. And knock on wood, when the 28th of
October runs around and they get their home opener, and hopefully the Coliseum's packed and they got a bunch of fans there, and something to take their mind off of the flooding and everything else that goes past. But even still, the Fire Ants, they had a very successful season under Jeff Best's first year as coach, and they made it all the way up to the semifinals after beating Knoxville in the first round, and then they run into the buzzsaw that was Kyle Rank and the Peoria Rivermen, and for something that never happened before, a team actually got shut out for an entire postseason series, and that's what the Rank and the Rivermen did in that time. They just an unbelievable performance by Rank, and it really kind of was a premature ending to a really good season by the Fayetteville Fire Ants. But you still have some guys coming back. Sean Bonner is back from Wichita, and Matt, what was your thoughts of Sean Bonner in Wichita?
I thought he did a really good job coming in and playing on a bad team was probably not ideal for him, but he did a good job in understanding what his job was to do, and I thought he filled in admirably. The team in front of him last year was very poor defensively, offensively, so they didn't give him a lot of support, and he kept them in the game a lot when he played. So I thought Sean Bonner should have at least earned an ECHL tryout this year. I thought honestly he should have made an ECHL roster. He's a decent backup, not starter level material in the ECHL. But yeah, I thought he came into Wichita last year and did a really, really, really good job.
So what exactly would it take for Sean Bonner to actually make that leap to become a starting ECHL goalie? I don't know. I don't know if there's room. I think it's more of a job situation for him, because you look at how affiliations work in the ECHL and minor pro hockey, and if you have not gotten a goalie signed by your coach, then you probably have one coming to you via affiliation. So right.
It's going to take him signing with an unaffiliated team, and the only unaffiliated team in the ECHL this year is Fort Wayne. And unless it's going to take injury or something like that, which is unfortunate for him to get into that area. So it's slim to none, but like I said, it's going to take an injury or him signing with an unaffiliated team for him to get on to an ECHL roster, I think.
Right.
But that said, I think he did a really good job, and I thought he should have probably made it at least out of camp with a team.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and we'll move on here, and we'll start talking some Huntsville Havoc hockey. And with us, joining us here today is Will Watko, another SPHL rookie. Your first season with the Havoc, and you're going to be the second traveling broadcaster in the SPHL. So congratulations. Welcome to the SPHL. It's great to have you here.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's something I've been a part of a couple of years ago. I did some time with the Mississippi River Kings as a broadcast intern about 3 years ago, and then moved to Utah, did some work for the ECHL's Utah Grizzlies as corporate sales, and also in their broadcasting department as well. And grateful to be here in Huntsville and be the main guy. And yeah, it's great to be the second traveling broadcaster in the league. So far I've been to one other barn here in the league. Last weekend we went to Knoxville.
Yeah.
And great barn, and really enjoyed it. The views and just the closeness of the seating arrangements that they have there, and it's going to be a great time to be able to go around the different leagues and the different buildings in this league. So,
So let's go ahead and talk about the team. First off, player assistant coach Stuart Steffen. I mean, if the guy couldn't be promoted anymore, it looks like he's on his way up the coaching ladder here.
Oh yeah, no, and that's the thing. I mean, talking to head coach Glenn DiTullio, you know, he's always had a mentality where, you know, we all know that this sport is a sport where, you know, your career can end at any moment, or, you know, can go for as long as you can make it. And, you know, with it here, we're all about, you know, being able to give the players an opportunity to see what their options are after their career is over as a player. And you know, Stu has taken a real interest in the coaching kind of position and things like that. And he's had a great time with the captaincy the last 2 years, and this being his 6th year with the team, he's done well here. He's played 248 consecutive games, and you know, 267 total for the Huntsville Havoc. And, you know, for him, he's just really enjoying it here, and you know, he's got that leadership quality that you'd like to have in a player assistant coach. And you know, it's also a great addition because you also get that opportunity where it's kind of an extra leadership role.
Right.
Beforehand, you know, you get the one captain, the 2 assistants, but you know, now with this opportunity for him, you have that player assistant coach, then you have a captain, and then you also have the 2 assistants. And you know, with the young squad that we have coming in this year, with a bunch of rookies, but we also have a few veterans lined up. You know, it's great to be able to get that leadership core going here.
Right, and really, you have a very veteran defensive unit here. With you have Justin Tateson returning. I know Nolan Kaiser, another second-year guy, was very impressive last year. But y'all pick up Zach Caravu from the Fayetteville Fire Ants. How is he? I know he's had some injury issues in the past. Is he ready to go for a season?
Yes, he is ready to go for the season. Can't be any more ecstatic to be playing here in Huntsville. And you know, it again, that's, you know, like you had just mentioned. I mean, that core right there, those 3 guys on the blue line, it's a heavy hitter kind of blue line that we have. You know, those are 2 tough guys, or actually 3 tough guys, and you know, they're also very big guys. You have Justin Tateson standing at 6'4", you know, probably 6'7" on skates, and Nolan Kaiser, another one. You know, you take a look at our season game in Knoxville. He had a great play in Knoxville. Coming back on the back check after the puck just got past his stick in the offensive zone, and he was able to chase down the attacker and actually bump the guy off the puck, so he wasn't able to get a clean shot off. And you know, that's just the kind of tenacity that Nolan Kaiser has. And you know, you add that into the lineup with Stu and a bunch of other guys, you know, newcomers like Rob Simpson on the blue line, who had 2 goals over the weekend. Kid coming from Elmira College, great pickup for the team. And it's going to be a solid D core with the opportunity to have some offense on that front line as well.
One piece of breaking news that just kind of crossed my desk here. John Lidgett, just SPHL Rookie of the Year, just got he got waived by the Alaska Aces. Any word of him coming to Huntsville?
I do not have any definite word. I do know that per the SPHL rules and guidelines, nothing has been officially released on our end, but the protected list did come out, and he was on our protected list. So we will just have to wait for further you know, instructions, and we'll be able to get that information out to the fans.
Right. Has there been any conversations at all?
As of my knowledge, I have not been received any word yet.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Well, thanks so much for joining us here, and it's been great. I know we're.
Hey, wait! Can I ask a quick question?
One question, Fanaza.
Just one, because I really think I'm digging on this kid, Jeff Jones. He really kind of made some noise for you guys in a small sample size. How is he looking this year going into the season?
Oh, he's looking really good. Last year, like you had mentioned, short, only played in 8 games, but had a 3-game point streak in there as well. So he's another guy, coming into the lineup. He's going to be a great second line guy. And, with this team, the way head coach Glenn DiTullio and assistant coach Jesse Calicky have put together this line during off-season recruiting is there's not really a fundamental one particular line where it's going to be all the scoring. They've been able to get a bunch of scorers out there, so you're able to see, a first line for some teams could be our third line coming up. So that's just the kind of built energy that this team has. And Jeff Jones is another good one. Had a couple good opportunities in the preseason action, and expecting great things out of him this upcoming year.
All right, Tampa, you can have your show back.
Thank you so much, Finazzo. Appreciate it. And Will, thanks so much, and good luck on the season, and good luck on your calls. I mean, it was good hearing you this past weekend. I was able to catch a little bit of your game. So good job, and keep it up, and hope to see you soon.
Thank you. Look forward to it. Take care.
As an ECHL guy, I got to say, Will, congratulations on the gig, and it was good to hear you in Utah last year. I'll be listening to your broadcast quite a bit this year. All the best.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Okay, and now we're going to move down to the Gulf Coast, and we're going to talk with Jeff Nichols, our media guy, the guy with the
Jeff is
ear to the wall, and probably one of my favorite guys to talk to anyway. Hey, Jeff, how's it going?
Doing good. Just going crazy with the season about to start.
You don't. So who are these guys?
Yeah.
Have you got that question?
We just had media today, and we had all the returnees, and then Aaron Clark, who is going to be one of the captains this year. So we didn't have any of the new guys, but just speaking with the media, a lot of it was, who is this guy? Who is this guy? Yeah. One of them, Greg, our owner, was talking with the media that stopped by the office after media day, and we were talking about one of our biggest defensemen, 6'5", Sean Gamage, and he didn't play at all last year at UW-Stevens Point because he had an injury, but
right.
Greg was telling me either team, he was the best defenseman on the ice Saturday in Columbus.
Yeah. So I've heard, and but you still have your goaltenders back. You've got the Twin Towers back. Yeah. You got Matt Zenzola, who came all the way from Bakersfield, and the next thing you know, how has the AHL camp been for him?
I haven't talked to him that much about it. I know he was really excited. It worked out because he was going to go to Norfolk with where Rod Aldoff is now, and they were affiliated with the Oilers, right. And he was talking to the AHL coach. I'm blanking on his name right now, but he's like, man, I really need another goalie while everyone's up in Edmonton. And Rod said, well, I was going to bring my cup-winning goalie in with me. He's from out that way. He's from 2 hours away from Bakersfield. And the guy's really? So he just gave him his number, and he got in camp with the AHL, and it was a really great experience.
Right, and he had a very long camp with them, so it was very productive. Yeah. And hopefully gets a lot of it. I know he's worked really hard over the off season. But your other tower, John McLean, the 6'9" guy, the still tallest guy in all of professional hockey. So how's he looking this year?
He's looking really good. It's crazy. You watch the offensive talent we have right now, and then you watch our goalies, and you're like, which one is it? Do we have really great offense and really bad goalies? Which I know that's not. I know the second part's not true, but there've been a couple times where you're kind of wondering what's up with our goalies. But when it came time to play a game against Columbus, they shut it down and were able to just get out of there, allowing one goal. And Columbus had a lot more shots, and I know Kevin wants to give up. So I think they both look really good. So
you have I know with the losses of you lost your whole defense except for Brandon Blair, and and so other than Sean Gamage, it's Gamage. I'm learning it, man. I'm learning it.
Yeah.
Sounds like
I'm not 100%
garbage.
on all these pronunciations yet, but I know that one is.
Come on, Campos.
You can't just say gamage doing damage.
You live in Louisiana. It's French down there. Half the people are French.
Hey, listen, I know how to pronounce Cousineau, okay? So back off, Harding.
You should know this. Come on. Why did I hire you as an editor?
I don't know. I can't spell.
Hey, Jeff. Talk about the transition from Rod Aldoff to Kevin. How's that transition been, and what kind of differing styles of play can fans expect from Coach Aldoff to Coach Hasselberg?
They both have similar philosophies while being pretty different at the same time. They both obviously want to spend as much time in the offensive zone. Rod would preach more take care of your defensive zone and the offense will come, because if you shut him down in the defensive zone, you'll have the puck. Kevin's more of a once your defense gets the puck, get it out, get that outlet pass as quick as possible. So he's more get it out, and Rod was take care of the defense first. Still going to be an offensive game for either coach rather, but yeah, Kevin really likes to do the breakout game a lot, and a lot of the players have been saying he does have a structure, but it's not very heavy. He likes to just let them be creative and do whatever they want. Well, not whatever they want, but a lot of what they want out there.
And how is that going to help out for, a guy who is as creative, in the zone as Corey Banfield, a guy who can just light up scoreboards?
He was talking today at Media Day about how he really likes this new style. He obviously his 3 years here were all under Rod, and he liked his role in Rod's offense, but he's really looking forward for the opportunity to be more creative on the ice and get to have a little more freedom.
Who's been skating with him at practice?
I am not 100% on that because I haven't been able to catch much practice just
Okay.
with all the stuff that's going on. I've been stuck in the office.
Oh, I'm just trying to figure out who that top line's going to be now. After a year of Banfield, Pollock, and Caveney, just
the 20s.
The what did you call them?
The 20s.
The 20s. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like what? It's like Caveney was 21?
21, 25 for Pollock, and 27 for Banner.
Cool. Shoot. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to do with the new coach and the new team, and all the best of luck to you guys in the city. The defending champs again. Jeez, again. Yeah, I know. Yeah,
it's almost like miracle.
Wait, you got something, Harding?
One final question for you, Jeff. 3 championships under the Ice Flyers belt. Does every season that you guys start now feel like championship or bust? Does it feel like you guys need to win a championship to be successful, or can you take a step back this year with Coach Hasselberg and then reload and move forward for the following season?
I feel like, especially with the coaching transition, it's like you're saying, it's okay if we take a step back. Even under Rod in his second year, we were out in the first round against Mississippi, and they weren't happy with that. I feel like every team at the start of the year, your goal is to win a championship. But just like every other coach out there, Kevin is big on you focus on today. You focus on this game. You focus on the next game when it gets here.
All right. I know. Well, there we go.
Yeah, there you go. Trust in the process.
Smooth transition, Mike. Smooth transition.
Smooth segue.
Right.
That's what you get here.
All right.
Jeff,
one thing before I go.
One more thing.
I don't know if it's going to work out, but I had a guy tweet the team earlier saying, hey, if I write a recap every game, will you guys start promoting it? And I told him, hey, we do our own, but the Sinbin is looking for SPHL writers, so something might come out.
Send them our way, buddy.
Send them our way, Jeff.
And I might give you a finder's fee. I'll buy you a beer or something. No. You're not a beer guy.
Sounds good.
All right. Anyway, thanks so much. Thanks so much for being here, and I will definitely see you soon. I'll definitely catch some Ice Flyers games.
All right. Talk to you later, guys.
We talk about Pensacola winning 3 championships here, but there's one guy who's been his team's won 4. I mean, 3. That's like child's play to this cat.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorite guys to talk to in the entire league, head coach of the 4-time SPHL champion Knoxville Ice Bears, Mike Cragen. Mikey, how you doing?
I'm doing good, guys. Thanks for having me. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Doing awesome.
Dawn, I think, is still choking, but she's getting through. She's powering through.
She's still coughing. Poor darling.
I'm still coughing. Even if I don't say anything, I'm still coughing. So I'll sit here and hit the mute button and just watch.
She's powering through.
She's gonna make it. I hope. Gosh, I hope we don't kill her.
We'll be all right.
You guys sound like you're having a little bit of fun in here tonight.
Just a little. We try to have fun here. It's
a little bit.
What we don't get paid for in money, we get paid for in happiness.
It's true.
Both salaries and big piles, right?
The Cubs are winning right now, so I'm in a good mood.
What's funny though is I heard Stephanie in the other room, and she starts like yelling and screaming. I'm like, "Hey, we did something right. The Cubs finally hit the ball." And sorry about your Blue Jays there, Mikey.
Oh
yeah. Sorry.
Not the way we had envisioned. We also clashed media day in Knoxville with the Blue Jays game, so I missed 7 innings. By the time I tuned in, it was all but over.
Oh no!
If it makes you feel any better, Mike, the Blue Jays last year lost to the ultimate World Series champions. So maybe Cleveland has a shot.
Oh, God.
That doesn't make me feel
bad. No.
Yeah, who would that make feel better? What were you thinking with them?
It was my attempt at consolation. I'm not very good on it. I'm very good at talking hockey. So
never take a job in a funeral home.
I probably should.
On the plus side, the Maple Leafs are beating Winnipeg 4-0. Hey, Cubs did something. What happened, Finazzo?
Home run!
Hey, go Cubs! Okay, so now that let's talk about hockey. All right, gosh. I'm feeling old here.
See what happens.
And speaking of old, you got a bunch of old guys on your team this year, Mike. Let's talk about let's see. In addition to Jason Price, you just pick up Adam Stewart from Peoria, Louisiana, Mississippi, and everywhere else he's played, and 3-game suspension is all he's getting from the league. So you'll have his services on the 29th of October. So. Good break for you guys, and Berkeley Scott, who we were talking about when we were talking earlier. Berkeley Scott coming back from Fayetteville. How's he feeling?
Well, yeah, we've got definitely a veteran-heavy team this year. Not only the veteran guys that are actually listed as veterans, but also I've retained a good portion of our team that finished strong last year, and it's almost the exact opposite of the way we started the 2015 season, where had rookies everywhere, and we were learning and we were teaching, and I feel like we're a little bit more battle ready already at this team. So along with just to answer your question, Berkeley's pretty close to feeling I don't want to say 100%. I don't want to speak for him. That's a massive injury and a very serious surgery, and he's 100% healthy when it comes to the bone itself. But obviously there's some healing and some rehabilitation and some strengthening to be done with the muscles and the hip and everything around the femur. So we're actually going to start Berkeley on the 14-day IR that's retroactive to today. So
Okay.
he'll be ready to go, at least eligible to play on November 9th.
Yeah, and for those of y'all just kind of out of the loop, Berkeley Scott, when it was Fayetteville, was it Fayetteville?
Yeah.
Where he crashed into the boards, pretty much skate first and snapped his femur pretty brutally, and probably just one of the more brutal injuries that we've seen in the league this year. And just it makes me very happy to see him fully recovered and that he is just rehabbing and getting stronger, and hope to see him back on the ice playing again soon.
Yeah, my relationship with Berkeley goes way back to 2010 when I was a first-year head coach, and I recruited Berkeley out of the NAHL as a 20-year-old, and I've seen him growing up quite a bit, worked together, won a championship together, traded him based on, there were several reasons for the trade, money and things like that, and thought we could both use a change of scenery. And then when that happened to him last year, just kind of on a personal note and a guy who I felt like I had been a bit of a mentor for Burks early in his career, I just reached out and make sure he was okay, and ended up reestablishing our relationship and talking quite a bit over the summer. And then when push came to shove and we were looking for some change in our veteran spots, he was an option, and we stayed in touch. And when we got the clean bill of health from his surgeon and his doctor, we thought it would be a good fit to get him back in here. And I'm excited to see him out there with that jersey flapping in the breeze, hopefully.
Good. And makes me happy too. How about Kyle McNeil? I mean, this is a guy you've wanted for a long time.
Yeah. Kyle and I just I've coached together for so long, and he's played so many games in Knoxville and had so much success in Knoxville. I'd be interested in if anyone had enough commitment to go back and see how many goals. I guess it wouldn't take too long, and look how many goals that Kyle McNeil has scored in the last 5 seasons in Knoxville against the Ice Bears. And I would have to guess that it was a big number. I know he scored a ton against us last year and the year before, and I think his style and his rugged play and his ability to get to the front of the net is a really great fit for our building. And we really struggled on our power play last year with net presence. We felt like we had good personnel to move the puck around and open up shot lanes. But at the end of the day, if you don't have a presence in front of the net and a big body, or at least a body that's willing to stand there and make plays, you're ultimately not going to have success on the man advantage. So we feel like Kyle's going to bring that, and he's taken charge in our locker room right away. The guys love him. He's a larger-than-life personality. He's a big goof. And for anyone who hasn't seen Kyle's commercial last year from Huntsville, the McNeil deal on YouTube, I suggest you check it out. It's some fine work.
Yeah,
that's one of the best commercials out there, other than the one that Huntsville did the other day.
Yeah,
that one was pretty good too. Hey, I want to ask you, Mike. The league is trending younger, while you're trending older, it would seem, with your roster this year. And it's a 2-part question. One, how are you going to work all of your older players around the veteran rule? And then 2, how do you believe your team will be geared toward getting off to a good start, as opposed to a team that is younger, let's say, and trying to find the chemistry and everything like that associated with the team building process early in the year?
Yeah, that's a great question, Matt. I know that the league and its board of governors is, as you alluded to, trending more towards youth and development. I'm going to cling to old guys as long as I possibly can. I love having guys around that have been there before. I was one of those guys myself who kind of got pushed out due to games played at the end of my career. And for me, and I've talked to Mike about this in the past, at good length with Mike on and off the record about it. And I feel like having older guys and recognizable faces really helps with rivalries, and it helps with product, and it helps with fan retention and attendance. And other than that, I love having veteran guys around, because chances are, if you're a veteran, you're doing something right, because you're not going to be around for that long if you're not doing something right and you're not a good teammate. So I love to surround myself with veteran players who have a common goal. And I feel like to answer that second part of your question, Matt, with guys like that comes resiliency and comes experience. And I feel like the best teams in the SPHL are teams that are able to deal with that adversity early in the season, mid-season, late season, because just the nature of the SPHL and its schedule and the intangibles that are uncontrollable to you, like travel, like salary cap, like injuries, like officiating, there's going to be some valleys through the season. And I feel like a veteran-heavy team like the one I've put together here is going to be resilient enough to get through those low points and come through and still maintain some consistency. So I'm fired up. I'm really excited to work with these guys, and I can't wait to play some real hockey games.
I'll ask my final question here, and then I'll let Mike wrap it up with you. But you've won 4 championships, or the Ice Bears have won 4 championships. in the franchise's history. And I'll ask the same question to you that I asked to Jeff. Does it feel like it's championship or bust there every season? And anything short of that, whether it's playoff berth, second round, playing in the second round, anything else is substandard, especially with the veteran team that you have this year?
Absolutely. Championship or bust would be the title on just about any article that I would write to preview this season for us and any other season. We had a team last year with 14 rookies on it to start off. We finished 25-4 in the second half, had the best record in the league, and bowed out in the first round of the playoffs, and we were not happy with it. A lot of teams would be happy with a year like that in terms of a rebuild or a retool, but not in Knoxville. Maybe we're putting some unnecessary pressure on ourselves, but for me, championship or bust is exactly the way I would describe every single season.
Right, and a big part of that comeback in the second half of last season was goaltender Brian Billett from Boston College. And I love saying Boston College.
I don't think you're saying it right.
Boston College. You got the college.
College hockey, that's right.
So joining him in the goaltender tandem this year is going to be Nick Cohn. So tell us about him real quick.
Well, just kind of further to that, Brian Billett is also going to start the season on the IR. We kind of got some damaged goods back from Atlanta when he returned to us from the East Coast League. He injured himself in Atlanta's camp, and he's not going to be able to start the season, so he's going to start the season on the 21-day IR. Okay. The SPHL given us some flexibility with our rosters, and I'm thankful for it right away because it gives me an opportunity.
And we just lost Mike Cragen there. But apparently what he was going to be saying is that he'll have some flexibility with Brian Billett on the IR and that's something that we're seeing now is maybe this was a procedural change in the SPHL is before you used to just have 30-day IR, and now it looks like we're having 14 and 21 days as well. Is that right, Mike?
That's correct. Yeah, we've got several different options. 221 days, 114, 130, and then obviously you don't have a 30. It's the 221s, the 114, and then the season ending. So it gives you some flexibility, and like I said earlier, I'm thankful for it because right out of the gates we're going to be using it.
Right, and so y'all got to be featuring Nick Cohn and Charles Grant in net to start off the season.
Yes, we signed Charles just on Sunday. He made his debut for us this week in practice. I'm not sure. I'll probably split this weekend with the home and home with Roanoke between him and Nick, and we'll see what happens. So I'm again back to what Matt was talking about, having a veteran-heavy team. It's good to have some veterans sprinkled in there because anytime you start a season with two rookie goaltenders, it's an uneasy feeling. But they're both hungry kids. They're both proven at their previous teams, and I think we're going to insulate them pretty well and surround them with guys who know what they're doing.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mike, thanks so much for joining us here. And as always, it's always great to talk to you. I can't wait to do it again because I know our interview over the summer was just phenomenal. So.
We've done 35 of those interviews, and we've had Mike Emmerich, we've had John Butchergross and Steve Levy on there. But Mackey's Ass Bears has to be the best interview ever. You win, Craig. You win,
That's
buddy.
Right. You did it. You did it, Mackey.
Thank you very much.
All right, bud. See you down the road.
Have a good season, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks for coming. And so now, speaking of a team with two rookie goalies, well, we're going to switch to a team that doesn't have two rookie goalies. We're going to go here with one of our SPHL rookies, Chris Labosco. Chris from the Mississippi River Kings up in South Haven. I'm going to see you guys on Friday night. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Oh,
Good, thanks.
Just another day in paradise.
Of course. And actually, you were talking about rookies. We might end up seeing the one rookie that is on the team because Peter DeSalvo just got it in from coach. He is going to be going on the DL to start the season. So you're going to have Brad Barone and Alex Coffey as the two.
So Alex Coffey's going to be on the team to start the season?
Yes, he is. And pretty good look at him, coach did too. He started him in both of the exhibition games that they played to start off this season. And from the little bit I got to saw of him, he's definitely a guy with a lot of raw talent, and it just seems like it's going to be a bit of a project developing him. But there's definitely some ability there. So not a bad guy to bring over from Italy, at least for now. And I don't think they thought this was going to happen either, because DeSalvo at the start of camp, it looked like he was the guy, and then just something happened during camp, and now it'll be a little bit before we get to see him on the ice.
So he's 21-day IR?
I think it's 14 is that he's on.
14? Okay. Okay, so Alex Coffey joining Brad Barone, former Louisiana ice skater. And Alex Coffey is actually just another ice skater connection. He was the goalie at Cortina last year in Italy, now coached by former ice skaters coach Drew Amiccioli. So just crazy little bit of trivia there. Sorry, guys. So tell us about the Mississippi River Kings here. We've got you've got Tyler Barr, another former ice skater and enforcer, and one of the questions that I would have about him, since he had such a controversial season last year, winding up with just a ton of suspension time, including a season-ending suspension after spearing Alec Hageman in Peoria. Do you know just what kind does the leash have? Is the leash short on Tyler Barr?
You know what? I'm not sure how long or short the leash is. I wouldn't expect it to be very long just because of that. And the way that Coach Derek Landmesser is, he's not a guy who he's a very respected guy. There's no doubt about that. For a guy who played as long as he did, and the way that he treats his players, they really seem to respect him quite a bit. So I think whatever he says is going to go, and Tyler Barr is going to listen. I mean, when you look at him in the exhibition game, it seemed like he was being more of a skater than he was the enforcer, which is fine because he actually does have some ability.
Right. Yeah, he's not a half bad skater when he can get ahead of steam going. So, yeah, he's not slow. He's not the slowest guy on the ice by far.
No, and they had brought in Nick Wright from the federal FHL, and he was really the other guy as far as enforcers that they were looking at, and they had let him go. So to me, that tells me that whatever coach saw from Barr, he was fine with, that he was going to let Wright go. And as far as skating goes, he was definitely the better skater of the two anyways. But right. When you talk about enforcers, Nick Wright is a guy where got to see a little bit of what he can do when he gets out there, and he is not a guy that you want to go toe-to-toe with on the ice.
Yeah. So tell me, now that Leo Thomas, the former captain, is now the assistant head coach with the Macon Mayhem, who's as far as on-ice leaders, who's filling that void?
Well, it seems like it might be Hosmer and Hutchinson or Harrington, are the two that I've noticed more than some of the others. Definitely Hosmer seems to be one. Todd Hosmer, who was a guy who in split time last year was only on the team for part of the year, but he's a point-of-game guy and somebody that the guys seem to really respect on the team. The one thing that's interesting about this team, it's kind of a mix of both guys who've been around for a little bit and a lot of really young guys. So where the team can go from here, especially with newer leadership going to be brought in, even though there's a lot of guys who were from the team before, they weren't in those leadership positions. So there's a couple of ways it could end up going, and they still got Marcuse and a couple others.
One of the rookies who really kind of caught my eye listening to the exhibition game on Sunday was Mark Pataccio.
Yes.
Tell me about him, because he seemed like he had a really good game on Sunday against Huntsville.
Yeah, he definitely did. He was definitely one of the players that actually stood out when he was out on the ice. He was somebody you were paying attention to. Last year was University of Ontario Institute of Technology. He had 20 points there in 25 games. He was an OHL guy for a very long time in his junior career, then went CCHL. He played in the USHL too. And when he was in the USHL, he was, again, fairly close to being a point-per-game guy. So definitely a lot of talent. He's not afraid to get in mix and very highly skilled. So somebody that I definitely think will be someone to watch. He's got a big body too. He's 6'4", but he also has the speed to go along with his size.
That should make for a pretty effective combination there when you have that kind of size and speed. Who's he playing with?
Well, it seems like it's going to change up a little bit, because one thing I noticed, at least on Sunday, you had more of the veterans kind of together on a line, and you were getting to see a lot more of the younger guys. One guy I felt kind of bad for was Robert Lindoris. He's kind of stuck on that last line. He's a very talented guy, played at Northern Michigan before in his career, and then went back to Canada and played college there for a while for University of British Columbia and Lethbridge. He's a guy I think that is going to get in the mix with some of the veteran guys and is going to be somebody to watch for. He was playing a lot more of kind of just the secondary roles for just the preseason. I think maybe coach had a better idea of what he was getting from him, perhaps too. But he's been fun to watch, and you can just see the skill when he gets out there. And he was being used on the penalty kill as well.
Right, very interesting there. So some of the other new guys. Gosh, I look at this. I look at y'all's roster.
I want to
Mike.
ask about a guy.
Go ahead there. Mike Finazzo, our Evansville guy, and your opponent for the first 2 games of the season.
We're going to be getting to know each other quite well right off the bat.
Right.
Tell me a little bit more about Colin Bradshaw. I'm interested in that kid and kind of what he brings to the table.
For Colin Bradshaw, I think he was actually with the team for part of the season last year, and he was another guy who was a point-per-game guy, at least for the bit of time he was with the River Kings. So I think he's another guy, too. And I think that's the interesting thing looking is there's a lot of the guys in this team who were only part-time with the team last year, are now starting off the season with the team. I think that one of the biggest things to look towards is how do these guys gel right off the bat. I mean, they've gotten out to leads in both of their exhibition games, but then lost them. And, that could just be maybe overconfidence as well. That's something for sure. But I think Bradshaw is definitely a guy to watch out for as well. He's just another guy, one of the smaller guys on the team, but again, highly skilled.
Right, and one of my favorite guys on the team, and you're just getting him back now, Devin Mantha, who he was in Norfolk, if I'm not mistaken, with Rod Aldoff, and now he's coming back, and he's just another deadly player out there, and just one of my favorite guys to watch out there. And it's good to see him back here, even though it didn't quite work out for him for now, at least in the ECHL. But with things the way they can change, anything can happen.
Yeah, definitely can. I mean, his little bit in time in Norfolk, he didn't get to do a whole lot, it seemed like. So he's coming back here, a place that he knows he's going to be in a pretty big role. When he was here, he was one of the leading scorers for the team. He didn't miss a game his first 2 years with the River Kings as well, played in every single game. So you know that you at least have an Iron Man in him too. He's not going to miss a shift either, and that's always important. I'm really curious to see who coach ends up going to with his penalty kill, because obviously as a defenseman himself, defense is something that's important to him. But not just that, they were one of the top kills last year as far as a unit, but with a lot of changes and a lot of younger guys. That's something that I think will be something to watch for, at least for how they approach it.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what, gosh, we're almost, gosh, I can't believe we're running long. But I'm not surprised, because that's what we do here. We always run long, even though we try our best not to.
Hashtag 7 minutes.
Yeah, 7. Hey, listen, I'm darn close to 7 minutes. Look at Finazzo, I swear to God. Oh, Jesus.
Leave it to Finazzo to do something crazy like that.
Yeah.
Oh, what? You decided you're not going to cough now?
Yeah.
Don't make me talk. I'll start coughing. I'll hack a lung on you, Finazzo.
I'll pay to see that.
All right, it's on. Like napalm.
Oh yeah, I'll buy tickets. But Chris, thank you so much for being here with us, and yes, and enjoy the lunacy that is the Sin Bin, and I will see you on Friday night, and we'll be heading up to Evansville for Saturday, and we'll get to that in a second here. But let's go and shimmy over east of Donnie there in Columbus, and we're going to talk with our friends with the Macon Mayhem. And who is with us here? My boy Leo Thomas. How you doing, buddy? Oh,
he's shy.
No, it's
who's got Leo's mic turned off? Does Leo have Leo's mic turned off?
I do not have Leo's mic turned off. In fact, I'm going to crank. Say something. Talk to me, Leo. No, I don't hear him. No, this can't be happening.
Oh no.
This cannot be happening. This has been all summer in waiting that I can talk to Leo Thomas, the now assistant coach of the Macon Mayhem, fresh out of retirement. You know, maybe hold on. Let's just put him on here. I think Eric's kind of helping him out there. If that is Eric over there. No. No, not yet. Come on. This is what we love. This is why we love live broadcasting, because this is what we do.
That's right. Well, while we're waiting for Leo,
I know. Well, while we're waiting for Leo, we can skip here and we can go straight to the Evansville Thunderbolts and y'all's play-by-play guy, Tim Young. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Mike. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Which Mike are you talking to, me or Finazzo?
I'm talking about.
Oh, there they are. Hey, guys.
Gentlemen, how you doing?
Hey, it's Coach Jeff Pyle. How you doing?
Coach?
Pretty good. Just glad to get the last day of camp over with and get the paperwork out of the way, and then we can start focusing on some hockey.
Well, I know. God, and, you know, I look at y'all's roster. It's like so many former ice skaters, so little time. Just great bunch of guys that I'm vaguely familiar with. How has I mean, we'll just start talking Johnny Daniels right now, because he's had a great camp with Atlanta, and apparently he's really kind of turned some heads with you guys.
Oh, he's a great kid. I mean, we've got actually a couple of characters. You got Luke Sandler, who's entertaining every single day.
You just noticed that?
Yeah, no, he's a great kid. I love it.
Yeah,
I love that type of stuff. I feed off of it. You know, some coaches, you know, aren't big on that type of stuff, but I like character. And Johnny's a great kid. You know, he's just happy. He's not disappointed he's down. He's happy that he's here, and he knows he's going to go back up soon. And that's the biggest thing to me is, you know, I want to develop these kids and move them up. I mean, that's what they play for. So in the end, we've got a good group of kids. There's a lot of young guys and good energy. It's been kind of fun.
You know, and there's a few guys that I saw in camp with the Ice Skaters last year, Phil Bronner and John Scortia and Ryan Patch, guys who, you know, really had a great season padding their offensive numbers in the Fed, and now they're back here, and they've got themselves some SPHL jobs, and I'm really happy for them. Well, Bronner was with the River Kings a few seasons back, but it's good to see him back in the league again. But especially Scortia and Patch, how are they doing? How was their camp, and what's your expectations for them?
When I brought everybody into camp, I had no idea really honestly about the league at all. And I didn't judge it or anything. I wasn't one of those guys that was going to bash it not knowing, because there's so many good players out there now. And so I brought these guys into camp thinking that if they made my team, great. If not, I would have a good look at them, and I'd use them for call-up guys one way or another. But everybody in camp's been competitive. So Patcher's a great leader, works hard. Phil Bronner's pretty physical, big kid. Everybody surprised me. So it was really exciting for me to be in camp and see, you know, how well everything went. You know, I wasn't sure what the level was going to be. And so I kind of thought that all these guys did well. Scorch has great hands. He's got a pretty good shot. He tries to pass too much, so I'm getting him to shoot a little bit more. But we had a scrimmage game. He scored 3 goals. So from my standpoint, it was exciting to see all the guys. And, you know, we're all excited. It's a good group. We're pretty young, but I like the young guys. It brings energy.
Well, I'll tell you what, Finazzo, this is your guy here. Have at him.
Now, Coach, in some of the times that we've talked before, you had said that you wanted to have the type of team that could play a tough night, you know, grind it out, maybe a few punches thrown, and you also wanted to have a team that on any given night can run and gun with another team. Now that you have your final roster set for the year, do you think that you've completed that goal?
It's always a work in progress. You know, I'm not worried about being the toughest team in the league. That to me it's kind of overrated. I think that type of game is leaving, and I think the SPHL is starting to be above that type of stuff. So the bottom line is I want a team that knows when to fight and knows when to open up, and, you know, we'll play every game. It's not that I want them to fight. I just told the guys, you know, we want to be a team that's disciplined, committed to what we're doing. If everybody's on the same page, you can win at any level, especially in the SPHL, the ECHL. I started with 14 rookies before in the ECHL, and we went to the conference finals. So To me, it's a wide open league. It's not about, I haven't looked at anybody's roster yet. I'm not really interested in anybody else's roster. I'm kind of worried more about our guys. So that's the way I coach, and I think we have a little bit of everything, and I think we'll adjust as we go.
Hey, Jeff, got a question for you here. What is the level? What does success look like for you for this first year of Evansville in the SPHL?
The biggest thing for me is just getting the business side in order and making sure we're smart from that standpoint of building a good foundation without throwing money out the window. I mean, we want this to last a long time, so we're going to be smart with our money. That, to me, is the biggest thing, is to get the business side in order, which we have a lot to learn. So this first year is a great learning process for us, and we've worked really hard and set that up. That's the most important. The biggest thing after that is that we compete every single night. If we do that, our goal is obviously to make the playoffs. I'm not worried about winning the championship. I'm not worried about doing anything other than that. I don't care where we finish in the playoffs. If we make the playoffs from there, if we've made the right moves up to that point, anybody can win the championship. So really it's just, building towards the future, making sure we have good people, which we do. I mean, it's a great group of kids. It's been really fun. And my only goal is make the playoffs. I'm not worried about if we got home ice advantage or if we don't. That doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, if there's anything that I tell people about the SPHL, it's basically you're in the woods, you're being chased by a grizzly bear along with 9 of your other friends. Just don't be the slowest guy, and you're good to go.
I agree with that 100%. And if you have to trip 1 or 2 guys to not be the slowest guy, you do that.
This is hockey, yeah.
Hey, you ain't trying.
Hey, Coach, I got one last question for you. You have a couple of younger guys in net. Who, if either one, has impressed you more, Tanner or Tyler, so far this year?
You know what? I mean, I would be lying to sit here. I've had so much on my mind. I really haven't paid as much attention as I probably should have. Other than that, they're both good goalies. They both have a good pedigree. Tyler is huge. I love him. Tanner won a championship in D3. Just a good kid, solid and quiet in goal. That gives confidence to the guys. And if we play in front of those 2 kids, again, in the ECHL, we would ride rookies, to winning, our division. In any league, you can win with rookies. So those 2 kids, I think they'll do a great job for us if we play well in front of them. So the biggest thing for me is that, we're not sloppy. We're not, there's not a lot of hope plays. You make smart decisions and you play well in front of them, and then you give yourself a chance to win.
Well, Mike, this is your guy. You going to wrap him up or what?
All right. Well, thanks, Coach, for the time tonight. Oh, did Donnie have a question?
I have a question, actually. Sorry, excuse me. Knowing a bunch of people that live up in Evansville and stuff like that, do you find that it's going to be more of a challenge this year to fill the seats because of everything that happened to the Icemen, or are you just going to go forward with the mindset that you have right now?
Well, I think, there's going to be some people that are a little turned off, and there's going to be some people that aren't sure about the SPHL. I mean, there's some people that were really disappointed the way everything went down in Evansville, but that is what it is. I mean, those people also brought hockey to Evansville, so there's a lot of history there, so we respect that. But in the end, we can't change that. I'm really impressed with the league. So from my standpoint, it's good hockey. The fans will notice that, and we have to earn them back. And that's really all we're going to do. We can't have – I'm not a big entitlement guy. I'm not a fan of that, although a lot of people are. I'm not. Bottom line, we have to earn everything we do here, and that's what we'll do. If it takes us a year or 2 years to get everybody's trust, so be it.
I think we've got a pretty dedicated fan base already. If you look, merchandise is flying off the shelf. We've got people in and out of our office all the time, and the interest is really high. We've got the backing of the city. The mayor was in our locker room today, touring, talking to players, and just getting a feel of the organization again. And it seems like the city's really embracing the new team.
One of the things we were talking about, Tim, was last time we were on the phone, you said there was what was it? 3,500 tickets already sold, not counting, and that was just a few days ago. So just by those standards and SPHL numbers, those are really great numbers to start off your first game of the year. So, yeah, there's definitely a palpable bit of excitement there in Evansville.
Well,
So,
it's kind of a crazy market. Like I said, they're great fans. They're very loyal, and they'll stick by you no matter what. As long as you're working hard and you're honest and upfront, they'll stick by you. Like I said, I loved it here the first time I was here, and when I had the chance to come back, it was a no-brainer. So I'm excited about it. I learned a lot from the business side, but now we got the hockey coming up, and I think it's going to be fun.
It's a minor league city. The city embraces that. The fan base does. Our Evansville Otters just won the Frontier League in baseball. The fans just seem to gravitate towards minor league sports here in Evansville.
Right. And I'll tell you what, and speaking of, I'll be up in Evansville on Saturday visiting you guys. So I can't wait to welcome you guys into the SPHL. Good little Southern hospitality and a big old party in the parking lot. May or may not be some grilling going on. Who knows? But looking forward to meeting you guys. And thanks so much, Coach Tim, for spending some time with us. And can't wait to see y'all soon.
Yeah, thank you very much. And if you come by my office, say hello.
Sure will.
Yeah, thanks for the time tonight. We appreciate it, and best of luck this year.
Thanks, you guys.
Thanks, guys.
All right, and now that we finally got our technical difficulties with Leo Thomas here, Leo Thomas. Hey, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Oh man, I'm doing great. Wow, look at you, assistant coach Leo Thomas of the Macon Mayhem. How is post retirement? How are you managing this?
So far, I'm loving it, man. I knew deep down it was the right time to hang him up, and I've got a great relationship with Kevin, and he kind of called me right after the season last year, and it's been awesome so far. I'm excited.
And so, and you and Kevin go way back to your rookie year as a player, and I think what was that? That was back in Flint.
That was a long time ago. Yeah, it was. Yeah, General was my first 2 years. So I was with Kevin. So.
Yeah. So was that maybe something that had a lot behind it, just that connection that, hey, he wanted an assistant and you're retiring and.
Pretty much, yeah. It just felt. I've always talked to Kevin. We've always had that great relationship throughout the years. So, he called me right away, and I had to jump at the opportunity. He's a great guy, and I think we'll work well together.
So, how's the transition working for you here? You're getting into the coaching role, all right?
Oh yeah, everything's been going great. We got a great group of guys. They're making it easy on me. Kevin's helping me out there, helping me out a little. So it's going well.
So I'm looking at this team here. My first question is, how did y'all land Jordan Ruby from the Huntsville Havoc?
Yeah, that's a great story. We were looking for goalies, and we got maybe 3 or 4 goalies that called us at the same time, and we just brought Ruby in, and then we had that Finney kid also, and Ruby's a really good goalie, so he's gonna have a lot of fun.
Yeah, he was a guy who wound up finishing the season in Brampton. And, with Jordan Ruby in goal for your team this year is none other than Garrett Bartis, who's now the reigning goalie of the year in the league. This is probably, and I'm going to go out on a limb here, probably the best goalie tandem in the SPHL this year.
Well, we like to think the same thing, so hopefully they both stay healthy, and we'll see how that goes. But we're really excited about having those 2 guys between the pipes.
And another off-season coup that you guys pulled is another universal fan favorite across the SPHL is Denny Seacard. How did the signing for Denny Seacard come along? I know talking with the Ice Bears that they were up hard against the veteran rule, and right now they're going into the season juggling 4 vets. So Denny was definitely the odd man out there. But how did he wind up coming to Macon?
Yeah, that was I think we just had the room, obviously, for a vet. That was something that Kevin kind of put together. He kind of let me know after it happened. We brought Sicard in, so that was all Kevin. I think Sakard's going to be a great addition to our team. Obviously, you guys know how he plays, the kind of energy he's going to bring, and he'll definitely be a good leader on our team.
So a good bit of relief that now he's on your team and not against you.
Exactly. He's the guy. He's the guy you don't want to play against, but you want him on your team, right? So.
Any good stories from playing against him?
Not really. He was actually he would do his thing and yell at me and stuff like that, but he was pretty calm with me. We'd kind of joke around on the ice all the time. So.
Okay, because I know sometimes he gets kind of intense, and
he does.
It makes for a good story.
Right. No, I never really got into it with him like that, but he'd give me a couple of hard hits or something like that, and just a little chirp, but nothing too crazy.
So tell me about the rest. So tell me about the rest of this team. I mean, there's a bunch of returning guys from a team that really finished last year strong. Just guys like Jake Trask and Matt Summers, and I know that's the loss of Sean Skelly, who had a good 60-point season last year. This is a team that, if I'm going to pick a dark horse, this is my dark horse. This is a team that I'm thinking this is a second round playoff team at worst.
Well, that's I mean, we got a lot of young guys that are coming in that I think one or two can step in and take Skelly's spot. And just have that offensive power kind of thing.
Who's impressed you so far?
What's that?
Who's impressed you so far?
So far, I would say this Colin McDonald kid. He looks really good. He's going to be a guy that's going to step in on that top six and put up some points in our league. But we also added some size. Our big guys can skate, so I think that's a huge thing. We didn't want to add size and get slower. We kind of wanted to add size and still be a pretty fast team.
Right. And, you're returning guys like Nick Grasso and Ryan Michelle, and Daniel Sobotka, who's another big guy on the blue line for you guys. How do you see that? How do you see that coming about? And how well are they working with the goalies in the back end?
Yeah, our back end looks pretty good. I was fortunate to get Sobotka. I played with him in Mississippi, and I reached out to him. He was kind of one of my guys that I called and tried to get him in.
Right.
Obviously, he's a big guy, 6'6". So, but with Michael Grasso, Saunders, we looked pretty good back there. And when you have Bardis and Ruby and that, it kind of helps you out a lot. So.
Yeah, definitely two of the best netminders in the league, and definitely, I'm excited to actually look at this team when I see this roster being put together. But we're going to go ahead and I know we had a little bit of technical difficulties to start off with, but any questions from the peanut gallery back there?
Hey, I'll lead Peanut here. We'll ask Leo a question.
Oh boy.
Just who are you looking at as part of your leadership structure? I know, Matt Summers has played a long time here in Wichita. You played against him when you were in Fort Wayne. Just by looking on paper, it would seem that Matt Summers has maybe the inside track on getting the captaincy there for you guys this year.
No, definitely. Summers is a gamer. He's got that, that feel in the locker room when he's walking into a room that guys can look at him and say, okay, well, that's going to be our captain, So he's definitely a guy that's been around. You got Sakard also, who's been, who's played a lot of games. So I would say those two guys for sure are going to be the two voices in a room.
All right.
And could be the captains. I don't want to say it now because I don't want to get in trouble.
Fair enough.
Yeah, definitely don't get yourself in trouble before the first game of the year there, buddy.
But you guys will see it in a couple of days. So
that we will.
Today.
Well, I'll tell you what, Leo, thanks for coming out and visiting with us, and thanks, Eric, for getting everything arranged.
Yes,
most appreciated.
Yes, he did, because I'm on his phone right now. So
yeah,
you made it happen.
Yeah, good job, guys, and thanks so much for being here, and good luck on the season, Leo, and good luck coaching.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Leo.
Good luck.
All right, no problem. Thank you.
That's it.
All right.
We're down.
You know what? We're down to one team left, guys.
So Roanoke.
Yep, Roanoke, and we don't have a guest for Roanoke.
Well, where's
but
Sam?
I wish I knew where Sam was, because Sam's a great guest. It was I know we had a great interview with him over the summer. That was just probably one of the more passionate guys in the league, talking to him.
Admittedly, though, it would be like 10:15 Eastern time. So
yeah, it could be past his bedtime.
It could be. He may be busy watching the Cubs game.
Let's hope so. How are the Cubs doing anyway?
Last I heard, 4-0. So
5-0.
5.
Okay, so there you go.
Well, good. You see, maybe
Rizzo
we should
hit a
do this
home run.
more often. Get out. So anyway, talking about the Roanoke Rail Yard Dogs, and a franchise that we've been following for the past year since they announced that they were joining the SPHL. Definitely a lot of buzz about this team. They've done a great job of marketing their product. And the way I look at this, and when we look at the season preview for these guys, and I'd say if you like the Huntsville Havoc, you're gonna love the Rail Yard Dogs, because there's a big Huntsville influence in the Dogs. You got Ryan DeMello as their goalie, and they somehow snagged Jason Popek from the Huntsville Havoc, and they got Steve Mealy that they drafted from Huntsville, and defenseman Nick Schneider, and just guys that we've seen from the Havoc, and now they're here. And
Bill Tesserero.
Yeah,
Bill
he's been everywhere.
Yeah, he had a ECHL tryout this year, and played a season or two with the Denver Cutthroats in the Central Hockey League before it went belly up.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember that name, and for some reason I remember it because there's this picture of him getting pretty much pounded by Anthony Paisano.
Yes.
And it's like I'm going like, poor guy.
Yeah.
My God, because Paisano was such a beast.
Yes, he was.
But that's you look at this team and it's like this is a team that's grit from top to bottom. Just guys that I know like Tesserero and guys like Nick Schneider, but then you've got a guy like Tyler Jurich, guy from the Fed who, I want to say he was like 100-point guy last season. I think he's
wasn't everybody in the Fed though 100-point guy.
Yeah. It seemed like it, but
everybody was plus 86.
Yeah,
at least if you're in Port Huron or one of those.
So is
towns.
it fair to say then that you could take half of that point total from the Fed to the SPHL and it be a realistic number?
No, I'd say about a third. You're playing against real defensemen.
Okay.
Yeah. In the SPHL, you play against real defensemen and you're playing actual systems. So you're. And I would almost say in some players, they make a good adjustment from the Fed to the SPHL, and others they don't. They can't do it.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what he does because good scorer, good playmaker in the Fed. Will it translate to the SPHL? Who knows? But one guy who I really like is Massimo Lamacchia. Saw him in Louisiana. Good.
Coolest name in the league. My favorite
is Massimo Lamacchia.
Massimo. Absolutely.
Massimo. Good, but good guy, great wheels, good shot, good playmaker. Not one of those guys that's just not afraid to get dirty, and he's got a nice little history with Sam as well as most of the guys who were drafted by him back in what was it, May or June or whenever they had the dispersal draft.
Does anybody find it weird that they only have 5 defensemen on their season opening roster?
I'm sure they'll probably pick somebody up before the opener, or maybe Sam's got somebody in mind that he's going to sign.
Yeah,
because they are one person short.
If you're going to leave a spot open, there has to be a reason why for that.
Yeah. So I guess we're done with our team by team previews here. Finazzo, any predictions on the season?
Being new to the league, I don't have a lot of the carryover, conception of teams and players. And I really just kind of got to look at everything a lot more analytically with fresh eyes, being newer to the league. And I am just a big fan of what Knoxville's got going on this year. I look at them from top to bottom on offense and defense. If the goaltending holds up for them, I see no reason that they don't make a deep run into the playoffs. I look at teams like Pensacola. Obviously, they're just perennially good, and there's so much offensive talent there. How do you bet against it? But if I have to predict, are we going just like season top?
We can do a. I guess why not? Let's just do a season prediction. Let's just say who's going to have the best regular season record, who's the finalist, and who's going to win it.
I'm going Knoxville in the regular season.
Where's my pen?
Right, yeah, write these down. And you know what though, Harding knows this. I will fess up to my season predictions all year long. I'm not ashamed of them.
It's a good thing Cragen's not on here because Finazzo over there this is like the kiss of death.
Yeah.
Right, because your picks are always such genius.
No.
Didn't you get Toledo last year?
If you're watching this for the first time, you might think that Finazzo and I hate each other, but we're like brothers from other mothers. It's really good.
It's a bona fide bromance, guys.
It is.
Yeah.
So you're picking Knoxville as the regular season champs.
I am.
Okay, so I'm guessing you're going to pick them in the finals, or are we thinking upset here?
Really? It's like that?
Yeah, it's like that.
Well, no, I'm not going to say, wow, I think they're the best team in the league, but they're going to.
Are you going to jinx them or not?
Yes, they're in the finals.
Ooh.
Okay, and so who's with them?
I'm going to go Pensacola.
Oh, wow.
Just because there's so much there that I'm a big fan of what both teams have going on from a roster standpoint.
And so who takes the President's Cup?
Knoxville in 3.
3 as in best of 5 or 3 as in best of 3?
It's best of 3, isn't it?
Well, it depends. See, this past year, the President's Cup final can be elected to play a best of 5. Like the Ice Flyers and Rivermen did this year, and I tip my hat to them for doing that because they gave us 3 really great games of hockey, even though Peoria lost all 3 of them. But that was one of those series where bounce here, bounce there, or a call here or a call there, and you're going to overtime to try to sweep the series from the Ice Flyers. That's kind of just how closely played that series was. It was very good. So no, you don't have to give us number of games. I don't care about that.
I would say I'll give you either 3 if it's 3 or 5 if it's 5. But I think it shall be evenly matched. Says I.
So who takes the cup?
I told you, Knoxville.
Knoxville. Wow, that doesn't happen often. All right, so Donnie.
I like veterans too.
Well, you're old.
Hey,
so Donnie, come on, let's go here. Who wins the regular season?
I don't know. There's I think with Roanoke and Evansville coming up, Cottonmouths won it in their inaugural season. I think that these 2 teams have a lot to prove, but I think that everybody wants to bet on the veterans. I bet on the young teams. I think that Coach Jerome has a really good, solid plan this year as well. So I'm saying
you're going for the home team.
Going for the home team.
Homer.
No,
Homer.
It's hush your face.
That's okay. Stand up to him.
I just, I watching these guys on the ice and not seeing the other teams. Yeah, I watched the SPHL the past few years and that, and knowing that the league really is more evenly, it's spread out. All of your rookies, or your your veterans have really been spread out, and the new kids that are coming out. I say kids, but the new players that are really coming out, these rookies. I mean, I think. I think we have a really good shot. I'm going to call, I think, Columbus and, I really think that Evansville is going to show up this year as well, because the way Coach was talking, he's really got a mindset. And I think if you get a really good fan base behind you, it'll push that team and it'll really push them to play a lot better. So who will go for the cup?
Who wins the cup?
Oh, dang it. That's a tough one. I'm going to say Evansville, though. I'd love the Snakes to win it, but I think Evansville is going to push with the inaugural season and the young kids. I think they'll be pretty equally matched. I'm pretty excited about this season, but I think Evansville.
I think
Donazo, get ready for a championship parade, buddy.
I will be on top of
a
vehicle of some kind, wearing a hat of some kind.
Wearing what you wore on Monday?
Drinking a beverage of some kind.
That was fantastic. You have to wear that. There's a victory for you. You have to wear that. That was fantastic.
I tell you what, we win this whole thing, and I'm open to discuss it.
Fair enough.
Okay, this I gotta see. I've just become an Evansville fan. Okay. Maddie, what's your?
I'll tell you what.
Know nothing about this league. Tell me what you think.
I'll tell you what. If Evansville wins, I'll drive to Evansville, and I'll cover the parade with Mike.
I'll be there with you. Evansville wins the title. I'm going to the parade.
I'll be there.
I'll be there with you.
Yep. We'll make
just like I told Finazzo that if Evansville got an SPHL team, I would be there. Saturday, I'm going to be there.
Yes, you did. And don't forget to bring my jambalaya.
Shit, good luck with that.
Well, I'll be covering the game for the Columbus side on December 9th. Up there, I have friends up there, and I'm going to stay with her, and she and her family are going to go to the game. So I'll see you December 9th when the Snakes and the Thunderbolts hit, and then I think there's an overnighter in April. The last two games of the season, the Snakes, excuse me, and the Thunderbolts meet for the last two games of the season. So I'll be up there for that as well. It's on like napalm, buddy.
Bring it.
Awesome. Okay, so Maddie, you know nothing about this league. Tell me who's going to win.
Gosh, it's hard.
Okay, give me regular season. Let's just start from there. And yeah, it's damn near impossible because anything can happen.
It really is. But I've got to go, at least for now, I've got to go with the scratch and go Peoria to repeat as regular season champs.
For the third consecutive year.
For the third straight year. I don't know why the Rivermen can't get over the hump and Jean-Guy Trudel cannot get over the hump. But it's not going to happen this year because I have them playing the Knoxville Ice Bears in the President's Cup Finals. That will go 5 games, and Mackey's Ass Bears wins another title.
Oh, Lord.
In 5.
With a goal scored with 1/100th of a second left in regulation.
I'll say, for rips and gigs, I'll say that the game goes like 3 overtimes and
so. But we're saying if it's a best of 5, we're saying 5 games.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it'll be.
He officially stole my pick.
No.
Literally.
You know what it was? I was tied. I really like Macon on paper. They have a really good team, and I think Denny Sicard or Matt Summers will be excellent captain or assistant captains. However it shakes out there, I think that leadership and Ryan DeMello and net. I think the Mayhem can do some things this year. I'd like to see them get into the upper echelon of the league first and then sustain it. I think, Evansville could be a dark horse this year. I really like Jeff Pyle. You don't win as many games as he did in the ECHL and not have that translate to another league. The same thing we're watching here in Wichita with Malcolm Cameron. So I really think Jeff Pyle will have a lot of success in Evansville this year. I think that could be a dark horse. Evansville and Macon are the two teams I'm watching, but ultimately I think Knoxville's just too loaded in every position on the ice, and I think it's them and Peoria playing for the title when we get to May.
So since Evansville has been brought up multiple times, I guess I almost feel like I need to defend why I didn't pick them to win it all.
Go ahead, defend yourself.
I feel like
Homer.
I feel like Evansville has a very high floor. Like people have said, between Pyle and a lot of the guys that have come in from Louisiana, there's some guys on the team that have some ECHL experience. There's a high floor, right? So, I think if it goes bad, that's still going to be better than what a lot of Evansville fans are used to on ice.
Right.
But I have no idea what the ceiling is going to be. There's a lot of the offensive talent is coming, or some of it, I should say, at least, is coming from the Fed, and you're never sure how all that's going to translate. There's some younger guys, and you're never quite sure how that's going to translate. So, like I said, the floor is high. I just don't know how high the ceiling is yet. And until I think there's a little body of work, then I reserve the right to go full on homer with my team.
Well, let me just say this. I think anything is going to be better than it was last year in that market, because those fans went through hell and back starting in November. So I think Saturday night, it doesn't matter what happens the rest of the season, it's going to be infinitely better than the way Ron Geary left it when that team took off the ice in April and the Evansville Icemen were no more. I genuinely believe that. I'm fully on board with what Mike Hall and Jeff Pyle are doing there. It's about building a culture the right way from the top down, and they're doing a bang-up job of it in a very compressed clock. Keep in mind, it took Roanoke a year to ice a team. Evansville's doing this in 6 months.
Yeah,
so
the job that they have done, that Mike Hall and Jeff Pyle have done in Evansville, has been nothing short of spectacular.
It has been phenomenal.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
When I've been to the office and I've sat down with the owner, Mike Hall, and I've sat down with Coach Pyle, and there's just a passion and a desire for this thing to work and to go well that is just so coherent at the top, that whether you're a writer or just a fan or whatever, you want to root for this situation to succeed in Evansville.
Well, that's why I picked Evansville. I think right now they have such momentum, going forward straight out of the gate. I mean, they have just shot out of the gate. And dark horse or not, I really think that they have the momentum, and the fans that were displaced with the Icemen, I think they're going to come back, and they're going to like the style of play that the SPHL has, and they're going to go forward. I really do. I'm looking forward to it. I am.
In how many games? Let's say a best of 5. How many games does Evansville go over Columbus there, Donnie?
I think it's going to go 5 games. I really do. I have just that much confidence in the change here. Watching the guys on the ice, they're so much faster. It's just big guys aren't always the better guys, but I think that Coach Jerome has a good mix of guys. And Evansville, I think they're pretty equally matched maybe, but I think they have the momentum on their side. I think Evansville will take it in 5.
Now, and I feel compelled to just say one more thing, because why not? I get to. Harding had pointed out that Evansville is in a much better place than we were at the end of last year as a city with the Gary situation. Now, for those that may or may not remember, the year before, the Evansville Icemen had won a whopping 15 hockey games. So in solidarity, I am pointing out and helping my friend Sinpin Cyclones with the hashtag just make it to 16.
You had to go there, didn't you?
So Mike, so Finezzo, does the bar start at 16?
It is. It's just make it to 16. That's it.
That's right.
It ain't looking good.
Now,
It's got to score a freaking goal first.
In fairness to the Cyclones, we're 3 games in. It's not. This isn't hot takery. We're not Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless talking about how everybody needs to be traded or anything like that. It's 3 games. We can reserve the snap judgments.
Just make it to 16, buddy.
Yeah,
I know you're watching.
Let's have a conversation about those teams, and we can have this conversation in the SPHL too after about 20 games, because I think you'll know where those teams are, where every hockey team is after 20 games.
You think? I don't know.
Yeah.
In this league, things change on a dime because call-ups always affect us. I don't know. It does for you guys as well, but call-ups. I mean, you get crazy swings in fortune when your best players always wind up in the ECHL for any given length of time, and next thing you know, it's like your team just goes from fantastic to oh hell in a jump street.
And maybe 20 games is not a good barometer of this team, because Cragen brought up a great point. Their team went on a 25-4-7 run. I maybe have the 2.
Yeah. The Ice Bears were a tire fire going into December.
Yeah, but
January comes around and they get Garrett Vermish and they get Brian Billett, and all of a sudden they're world beaters.
Yeah, maybe we have the conversation in January, but I think you need to give a team maybe between 20 games and half the season to figure out what they're going to be before you can make any kind of snap decisions about whether this team's going to be. And there are just some teams you just know. Last year in Wichita, I knew it in July that was just going to be a gong show. So sometimes but I think overall, for fans and us, you generally have to give a team between 20 and 35 games to figure out who their true identity is, who the players are that are going to be there for the long haul, and things like that. Call-ups decimate rosters all the time in minor pro hockey. That's the beautiful part about being in a developmental system all the way down now. So it's all about who adjusts best to that and can make the most out of it.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what. Before we wrap this up here, I'll go ahead and go with predictions as well for this league. I guess I'm the editor. I guess I might as well put something on the line here.
Yeah, let's go.
Regular season, and like you were saying, consistent previous success is generally a barometer for future success. And when you look at guys like Peoria and Pensacola and Knoxville, these are teams that maybe you look at Peoria, they got a lot of new blood on their team. Ditto for Pensacola, and including a brand new coach. With Peoria, you've got a guy who knows how to put a team together and knows how to prepare for an SPHL game. Ditto with the Ice Bears. I look and say it's like those 2 teams have pretty much shown themselves to be they're going to be really good this year. They're both going to be good. If there is a dark horse pick that I have, though, it's going to be the Macon Mayhem. And I know you guys have already said Knoxville, Columbus, Peoria. So you know what? I'm going to go out on a crazy limb here, and I'm going to say Macon, just to be contrary. I'm going to say the Macon Mayhem will take the regular season title. So no pressure, Leo. Hope you're watching. And however, the Macon Mayhem are going to get they're going to get upset in the first round of the playoffs just because I'm not going to have just a regular season finalist make it to the President's Cup final, because that just doesn't happen in this league unless last season, which was insane. So let's go ahead and say for our finalists for the President's Cup, everybody says Knoxville. You know what? This is Peoria's year, and I'm going to say, Guy Trudel, you're doing it this year. You got the first monkey off your back, and you got past the first round. It's time for you to get the championship monkey off your back. It's time. So Peoria is going to make the final, and they're going to win it. No pressure, guys. I'm just typing predictions here. And you know what? I'm going to say for their final opponent, and this is going to sound really crazy here, but I'm going to have to go with the Mississippi River Kings because no one else has.
That's not a bad pick.
No, I like how they're put together, and they've always seemed like they're just that one step away. And really, the River Kings have been to the finals 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's not like this is a team that hasn't seen success, because they always do. They're always kind of lurking right in, flying just under the radar.
Right.
And they've got a great set of forwards, and they've got good goaltending. They've got a solid defense. They have a well-rounded team, and I like them. But it's gonna be Peoria, and it's gonna be in 4 games.
Todd Hosmer is a great leader on that club, and he's had a lot of success in the SPHL. I've watched Todd for like a broken record here in Wichita for a couple of years. Great guy off the ice, and even better, a very solid forward on the ice, and it would be nice to see him have some success there, and all the same for Matt Summers as well. Hopefully Sums gets his title this year. I'm secretly pulling for Macon, but the
it's
odds,
not very secretive anymore.
Well, that's true.
No,
that is true. So, I just doubted myself.
Ain't that the truth? Well, I'll tell you what, guys. Great job. I really appreciate you guys, bearing with us here for a couple hours. And, I did say where we could go 90 minutes, and right now we're about 2 hours and 10.
Well, this is what happens.
Hey, it's what happens. Hey, listen, it's live. This is live broadcasting.
Right.
But, Matt, next week it's going to be me, you, Shannon Zabados on our podcast, and holy hell, this is going to be great.
I'll bring the Crevassier, and we'll have the ladies' man here, and we'll get it all set up.
Oh, yeah.
Get it done.
It's going to be great. But hey, we're 2 days until opening night, and I'm completely excited. I can't wait to get off to the second year of Sin Bin hockey coverage of the SPHL, and now that we have a couple of cohorts to work with here, and Finazzo and Donnie, this is going to be a great season, and I'm really looking forward to working with you guys, and we're going to have a blast.
Hey, before we go, Mike,
I love you guys.
Tell everybody when their teams are going to be out on the team previews are going to be out on the site. I know you're doing 5 tomorrow and 5 on Friday.
Yeah, I'm not sleeping tonight.
The good news for you is mine is perfect, so you can just click send.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, but we're going to go ahead and post the release times for tomorrow and Friday. But we're going to lead off with the Macon Mayhem, which I'm almost done with, at 9 a.m., followed by Pensacola, Peoria, Mississippi, and Finazzo's Evansville Thunderbolts. And on Friday, while I'm driving to South Haven, we're going to get Knoxville, Roanoke, Huntsville, Donnie's, Columbus, Cottonmouths, and we're going to finish up with the Fayetteville Fire Ants if knock on wood, we can figure out what to write.
Absolutely.
It's hard, but and still, once again, I mean, if there's anything that we can wind up doing for our friends in Fayetteville after the flooding early in the month and aftermath of Hurricane Matthew, then, I'm definitely all in for that because, this is a hockey family and the SPHL is its own family inside of it. So it's one of those things where we all kind of look out for each other.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, safe travels to you, Mike, and hopefully you have a great time up there in Evansville, and good luck to all of you guys this year. I just went through what you did, Mike, with the previews last week, and if I can be of any help to you, you know how to get a hold of me.
Yeah, I do. I just I sent a pitch in your way or something.
Yeah.
We will be sure to check in from the tailgate and from the hockey game on Saturday at the Twitter machine. So be sure to follow along on all these little different names that you've seen.
By the way,
so you can
at
see all
Sin Bin something or other.
You know what you ought to do? Since somebody's got a pretty fancy cell phone there, somebody ought to Facebook Live the barbecue.
That can happen.
Somebody ought to do that.
Yeah. There'll be some Facebook Live segments, and we'll talk a little bit from the game and get to meet some of the fans in South Haven and up in Evansville, and we're gonna have a great old time.
That's awesome.
I can't wait. I'm so stoked.
Yep.
Real hoot nanny.
That's right. That's right.
A shindig.
I'm Southern now.
Did you really say hootenanny?
I believe I did. Yes.
Oh, whatever they say in Ireland, Donnie.
It's a real freakus.
Freakus. What?
Freakus.
Okay.
I thought that was like a ficus. That's like a tree.
Ficus is like a plant. Yeah, ficus is a plant.
Yeah.
Freakus is a fight or a gathering.
Who?
A fight or a gathering.
Like shenanigans.
I'll show myself out.
Not to be confused with a hoedown.
That's right. That's what I was going for. Hoedown. Saturday, Evansville. Be there.
It's an air raid.
We're gonna wrap it up. We're
Good night, everybody.
You guys are getting way too punchy. I'm just sitting here with a fever of about 101.5, just like okay.
Is it about 101.5?
Yeah.
Give or take a few degrees.
Well, no, I went to get more tea and I took my temperature and yeah, I'm like hot and cold, but yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I'll tell you what. I guess we'll cease with the frolicsomeness.
Good night, ladies, gentlemen.
It's been great, y'all. 2 days until we open up, and I can't wait, and it's going to be a great season. Thank you so much for watching this SPHL season preview. Oh, my God. I'm Mike Camp for Matthew Harding. Say bye, Matthew.
Bye.
For Donnie Walters.
Bye.
Joking.
And even Mike Finazzo.
Deuce is out.
You didn't kill her.
Okay, I'm Mike Campos, and thank you for watching. Have a great night.